You know the feeling, right? It's the middle of the night. The markets are supposed to be sleeping. And then, bam! A massive green candle just shoots up out of nowhere. You're left wondering what on earth just happened.
Or maybe it's the other way around. It's a quiet afternoon, everything's trading sideways, totally calm, and then a violent red candle just drops off a cliff, liquidating thousands. It feels totally random, like a glitch in the Matrix.
But here's the thing. They're not random. They're not glitches. What if I told you that these moves, the ones that seem to come from nowhere, are completely 100% intentional?
And that's exactly what we're going to get into. Today, we're talking about shadow whales, the silent giants of crypto that move the entire market like unseen tides without ever breaking the surface.
So first, let's talk about the evidence they leave behind. We're basically looking for footprints, signs of an immense and very, very hidden power.
And here's the crazy part. If you've ever traded in these markets, you've already felt their presence. You just didn't know what it was. You know that weird sideways price action when everyone was screaming for a breakout? That was a footprint, a sign that something absolutely enormous was passing by just beneath the charts.
So, if we're seeing footprints, the next logical question is who or what is making them? It's time to pull back the curtain on the forces that are actually drawing the charts we all stare at every single day.
They're called shadow whales. And what we're talking about here are completely anonymous crypto wallets holding an almost unbelievable amount of capital. Nobody knows who owns them, nobody knows their intentions, but we do know they have enough power to shake the entire market with one single silent transaction.
Now, you have to understand the difference here. Most of us, when we hear the word whale, we think of these loud public figures. You know, the CEOs, the influencers who are tweeting and bragging about their every move. The real whales, the shadow whales, they're the polar opposite. They move in total silence. They stay anonymous. They don't live stream their trades. They rewrite the entire story of a token without ever saying a single word.
And of course, that leads to the million-dollar question. Who are these people? Who are these mysterious market movers with this kind of unbelievable influence?
Well, the truth is, nobody knows for sure, and that's where the theories get really fascinating. Could they be original Bitcoin miners, just sitting on fortunes they mined back when Bitcoin was worth pennies? Or maybe they're these super coordinated secret investment groups planning their moves like a military operation. And then you get the really wild theories about governments or massive institutions that were quietly experimenting in this space long before the rest of us even knew it existed. The mystery itself is a huge part of their power.
Okay, so let's get into how they operate, because this is the part that might just break your brain a little. You have to understand, they don't just play the game, they create it.
This is the key difference. The average investor, you, me, most of us, we react to the chart. We see a pattern and we make a trade based on that. A shadow whale designs the chart. They are the artists creating the patterns that everyone else is just trying to follow. And this quote just says it all, doesn't it? They don't chase the hype. They manufacture the hype. They don't buy the pump. They are the pump. When you have that much capital, you don't have to worry about volatility. You become the one who controls it.
But, and this is a big but, here's where the whole story takes a twist. What if they aren't the villains of this story? This last part is all about learning to survive and even find opportunity in an ocean that is ruled by these giants.
So let's try to reframe this. Shadow whales aren't good guys, they aren't bad guys. The best way to think of them is as a fundamental force of nature within the market, like gravity or the tide, just incredibly powerful. You see, every ecosystem needs its giants. Without them, the market would just drift aimlessly. Volume would dry up. So yeah, they create danger, but they also create incredible opportunity. They bring chaos, for sure, but that chaos is also what brings the liquidity that the market needs to even function. They shake out the weak hands, absolutely, but they also reward those who are truly paying attention.
So, how do you adapt to that? Well, you learn to read the water. That means looking beyond the headlines in the news. You follow the volume, those sudden, massive spikes that seem to come out of thin air. And finally, you start watching the wallets. You learn to track those big, silent accounts that might be dormant today, but could literally explode into action tomorrow.
And this is really the key takeaway from all of this. You have to learn their language. They are communicating, just not with words. Their language is motion. It's a sudden flood of liquidity, a candle so big it shatters every known pattern. The people who learn to feel those tremors under the surface are the ones who will always know when a giant is about to make its move.
At the end of the day, the crypto ocean doesn't really belong to anyone, not the traders, not the influencers, not even the whales. It belongs to the movement itself. But if you're staring at a chart and you just get that feeling that something massive is shifting just out of sight, you're probably right. So the real question is, when that giant rises, will you be listening?